All right, then.
Vodka.
Drug test.
So, if you didn't hear, Geraldo said 14 reworks. No. I was actually going to say he's being generous, but I would say 14 is pretty accurate. In an 8-minute exercise, you almost were 2 reworks per every minute you had. Now, so what does rework cost? Let's do a calculation here. So, you put the work in wrong. What do you got to do now?
Take it apart.
Now what do you got to do?
Put it back together.
So now, most people say rework only costs 2 to 3 times. I'm going to argue not even close. There's a word we use in economics. It's called opportunity cost. What does the word opportunity cost mean, guys?
What you could be doing with that time instead.
Exactly. When I was putting the work in wrong, what could I have been doing? I could have been making money somewhere, but instead I did it wrong. So I got opportunity cost number 1. While I was doing my rework, what could I have been doing?
Something else.
Opportunity cost number 2. Now, what about morale? I realize these are trade contractors. You know, they work for us, but they don't work for us. But when your crews, either internally or externally, have to do rework, how does it affect their morale? It sucks. I just had to take it out and I got to put it back in again. Now, it's funny that you mention that because so many people have this mentality that they're getting a paycheck, right? They don't care whether they're working 8 hours making widgets or making hours making wadgets. It's 8 hours. I disagree. I think there is a morale impact that gets dinged onto this that affects all future performance. By the way, all jokes aside about the $60 you all owe me each, the comment I would say is, what about back charges? What about liquidated damages? Those are real costs. What about overtime? So now you have to work because the deadline isn't moving, folks. I still wanted that job done. You got to work overtime now to make sure you're not doing it. And last but not least, the customer. So the customer comes in. They see one of your crews out there jackhammering some concrete for whatever reason. Customer walks up and goes, "What are you doing, Joey?" We screwed something up, man. I'm jackhammering some things out. What goes through their head when they see you jackhammering that stuff out?
Why didn't you do it right the first time?
Yeah, they're like, wait a second, I paid a premium for bedding, and I'm watching their subcontractors jackhammer stuff out. Also, what can't I see? A lot of your work is behind walls, underground, up in ceilings. It's like, whoa, wait a second, what didn't they catch? So there's a confidence factor. And last but not least, let's say the owner comes to you and says, you know what, I'm going to give you an owner change order to add something. And you price it up, and it's $10,000. And you hand it to the customer, $10,000 change order. What immediately goes through their mind when they see that change order?
Trying to make up for other work.
Yeah, it might be $10,000. Maybe it was $5,000. You're padding the number to make up for that jackhammer work. They're going to go, I want backup. I don't trust you guys. I saw you jackhammer. I bet you're covering and padding your number. So we'll say that's maybe a little bit factored in, but just for round number's sake, Geraldo said 14 rework cost opportunities. I'm actually going to say it's 140 cost opportunities in an 8-minute exercise. That's the impact of rework, folks. Above and beyond what it did to their work flow, that's the cost that we have to deal with. And that, trust me, whether or not it's getting passed on to Benning, whether we're not helping our subs be successful, whether we're not helping manage, it all comes back to us. But now I know you're wondering the answer to the question. And what better way than to test this theory out? So you'll notice you're in tables by design, you're going to be the next round of bridge builders. So, what I'm going to do for 10 minutes is give you an opportunity to put a bid together. Some of you get the benefit because you have some of the guinea pigs that were up here before. But I'm going to do this for you. One, I'm actually going to put it on the screen. So you'll notice there's a bid form. Your bid form goes like this, folks. Number of people in the crew. I think we all agreed that 4 was the wrong number. I'm also going to tell you 1 is the wrong number. Somewhere in between, we'll say. Man minutes per crew member, that's the time on the clock. So, for instance, the first group had 8 minutes on the clock, 4 crew members. Their bid would have been what? 32. Low bid wins the project. And you will get the opportunity to have fame and glory of all betting history, knowing that you were our inaugural winning bridge builder. So, the rules are this. The property lines stay the same. I'm not going to take that away from you. I can't move property lines. However, China is in the bag, meaning I'm not going to, you know they're there, you get the pieces. I'm going to leave this on the screen for you. You'll have the black and white plans. Additionally, you're going to get the benefit of a project manager. So let's say it's this group here, and you two are going to be my builders. So you're actually building the job, and we're going to make you the project manager. Project manager is not, I repeat, not in that calculation I showed you a moment ago. They're not allowed to touch parts and pieces. They can walk on water, but they can't, being sarcastic, they can only provide guidance and coaching, but they cannot touch the parts. So you are going to have about 10 minutes to put together your bid, and most importantly, your plan. Use this time wisely. All bids will be due in 10 minutes. No late bids will be accepted. No bribes included. Yes, sir?
You said we can have it anywhere but 2 or 3 people, right?
Yes.